Hello again and welcome to Transformer Review Offs. Today I'm doing Movie Salvage versus Generations Junkheap. Salvage I found at this place called Big Fun up in Cleveland. They sell old toys as far back as at least the 50s, if not further back. But they have a huge Transformers case, and while most of it is G1, it goes up through the movie lines and they have all kinds of stuff. It's amazing. I happened to find this little guy sitting in a box while we were talking to one of the owners one day. I thought, this is kind of neat. And we actually sat there and transformed him, and I found it really interesting. So the next time I went back, I ended up picking him up, and he was pretty cheap. But this is Salvage. He's from the first movie. The first thing you'll notice about him is he's built like a linebacker. I mean, if Hunt for the Decepticons Fire Trap is like the quarterback, this is the defensive guy. He's the one who's there to stop the sacks. He's got all these winglings, he's got a little bit of kibble on the back, and probably the one thing I like about him most is he's got hooves. Look at this. This is awesome. He's got the background thing, and this is a first movie toy, and first movie toys, they were really grotesque. Salvage kind of beats that out. He looks really good, so I can't complain about that. Generations Junkheap is a recolor of Generations Retgar, who I didn't even know existed until I got this guy. And oh boy, I walked into a Target one day, I happened to glance at the Transformers section, I was there for something else, and lo and behold, something completely new. So I grabbed him immediately. Junkheap, he looks pretty awesome. He is, of course, a Junkion, and he shows that off with a lot of really awesome asymmetry. He's got an entire motorcycle front for one leg and an entire motorcycle seat for the other leg. You can't go wrong with that. I love that. He's also got this wheel up here, which supposedly can act as a shield. You can plug it into his wrist. It's really difficult to do, and it looks kind of stupid because he ends up with his arm like this. It's like, well, he can block high attacks, that's about it. He's got clear light piping, which is kind of odd, but I do like his head sculpt. He's very Mongolian. Of course, he's got this awesome four-bladed axe for a weapon. Honestly, I like both of these guys. I think I'm going to give the robot mode to Junkheap because I really dig asymmetry when it comes to Transformers. It's not something you find a whole lot. So, on to the alt modes. Transforming Salvage was kind of very surprising the first time we did it, and I've done it so many times now that I can pretty much do it in my sleep. Oh shit, his arm fell off. Salvage is pretty solid. For being a movie toy, all of his stuff pegs in together really nicely. One thing I forgot to mention about his robot form is there are small pegs that hold his shoulders into his torso, and they're really small. They don't hold him very well. That's about the only complaint I have about him. Putting the bed of the pickup truck together is actually quite a lot of fun. That's where all the kibble comes from. One thing that's absolutely baffling is this right here. I don't know what that is, and I actually didn't even notice it until about the third time I transformed him. I don't know what it's for. I don't know what it's meant to do. It kind of looks like a motorcycle kickstand, but he's not a motorcycle. Turns out when you do these quickly, they become more difficult. There you go. A lot of fun. His bed thing is spring-loaded. Going to robot mode is fun because you have a head reveal. I love spring-loaded gimmicks. They're so cool. Also, his doors are on springs, so when you flip up the front of the truck, which I'm going to do that, boop, it just pops right out like that. Now Junkheap. I know who's going to win this because transforming Junkheap is a nightmare. And it's not the sort of nightmare of, oh my god, I can't figure out how to do this, I'm going to throw you against the wall. It's if I do anything wrong, he's going to break. Not just fall apart, he's going to break. When I got this, quite a few sources, including TF Wiki, informed me that handlebars have a tendency to break if you do not in fact use the automorphing feature. If you try and do it manually, it will break. So every time I transform him, and I don't transform him very much because of this, I am afraid that something is going to go terribly wrong. That said, his transformation is at the very least really, really clever. I mean, you don't see cycleformers who do what he does. Like I pointed out in his robot mode, he's got the entire front half for one leg, he's got the entire seat for another leg, and that means that basically his body folds, turns 90 degrees, and then he does the splits to form the body of the motorcycle. And it is really interesting. Now, unfortunately, his hip joint is the worst joint in the entire Transformers line. Oh my god. His legs are on joints, that's right here, that must be separated from his pelvis, and it's impossible. Especially the right one. Haven't broken them yet. Oh, there we go. Jeez. And then after that, it's a lot of finagling and praying that nothing goes wrong. And the worst part is the front wheel doesn't peg into anything on one side, so it's crooked all the time. Now, asymmetry in the robot I can go for, but asymmetry in the alt mode, that's not really planned. I can't get the shocks to peg into the top thing. Oh, I'm not going to be able to do this properly. And he's got all kinds of itty-bitty pegs that go in various random spots. I'm going to be doing this right. There we go. Anyway, you want to see the most enjoyable part of his transformation? That's it. Salvage wins that one. So, alt modes. Salvage turns into this very awesome red pickup truck. You probably cannot read what's on the door. It says Sparkplug & Son Salvage, which is really cool. He has a bed cover, which is neat, because A, you don't see that very often. B, the whole thing comes out, so it's actually a bed cover, and the bed is sculpted underneath. C, it's his weapon. Furthermore, when I showed you how the bed flips down on a spring, that's what it does. So, yeah, I mean, pickup trucks are not something I'm really into, but he's really solid, and he just looks really good, and he's a good color of red. Junkheap, on the other hand, motorcycle. He looks like a Junkion motorcycle. He actually looks really cool, except for the fact that I cannot peg this in. I cannot get it to line up properly. And in fact, he's looking a little bit worse than usual on this side because his arm is just falling out. The neatest thing about this is these two prongs on either side of his pelvis line up with holes in the seat, so you can take one in robot mode and have him ride on another one. That is a homage to the first movie, and that's really cool. My friend's got one of these. I haven't seen it in action yet, but we're going to have to try that at some point. What it really comes down to, they both look really good, is that Salvage has lots of interesting modes. Hi! Beware Baba Yaga, the pickup on Val's legs. Dear strong Salvage, how do you type with boxing gloves on? So yeah, Salvage has endless possibilities. He's a lot of fun, and Junkheap is a lot of headache. So, Movie Salvage wins this one. It is unfortunate because Junkheap's just... he's really neat. I'm glad I found him. But oh my god. So stay tuned next time when I will review G1 toys for the first time. The Duocons.